Hello everyone and welcome to the complete JavaScript Masterclass. If you're looking to learn to do web development without the help of frameworks and learn pure JavaScript, this course is for you. Simply put, the course is for anyone with the desire for learning new useful skills, for beginners interested in learning web development, or for people who are already familiar with HTML and CSS and are looking to expand their skills to JavaScript. There are also people who are already skilled at JavaScript and perhaps they like to refresh their knowledge and maybe learn stuff they might have not known before. The awesome thing is, you don't have to have any prior knowledge of HTML or CSS or even programming for that matter, because we'll discuss all of that in the course. You'll learn complete JavaScript from scratch, including data types, variables, functions, classes, and basic principles that will help you navigate other programming languages in the future. You'll learn how to interact with the DOM, modify the HTML elements using JavaScript, and set up events so that when you click a button, for example, a custom function that you'll write gets executed. Also, you'll learn how to create and structure your projects using modern design patterns that are an industry standard. But most importantly, you'll have a better understanding of how vanilla JavaScript works so that when you decide in the future to pursue frameworks like React and Angular, you'll know exactly how and where to fix your bugs and mistakes. So we'll start off with the basics of JavaScript, like what are data types and how to create and declare variables, and write functions without repeating code for efficiency. Then we'll move on to DOM manipulation, how to directly change HTML attributes of elements through JavaScript, and we'll use events to pass data into our code from the UI. After that, we'll continue to object-oriented programming. We'll cover what are classes and how to create objects from them, which we'll use to store the data we receive from the UI. Next, we'll move on to asynchronous JavaScript, how to make HTTP calls to a server and retrieve data without interrupting the UI. We'll then move on to error handling, using that for handling any errors we might encounter while performing actions like retrieving data from HTTP calls, also regular expressions for form validations such as a valid email address or password, full name, etc. And we'll conclude this section with local and session storage, how to store data that we might need to persist in the browser storage. During this section, we'll briefly cover anonymous and lambda functions, how to use them as callback functions and how they work. Lastly, we'll finish off with popular JavaScript patterns, how to identify and learn them to code more efficiently in JavaScript in the future. We'll create a couple of projects during the sections of this course. They will help you better understand the topics we'll discuss in that particular section. You can also include them in your portfolio once you are done with the course, which will give you a boost in finding your next career job. First, we'll create a grocery list. The user can create and edit grocery items that he'll save to a list that will display all of the grocery items he's added. He can also remove items from the list. After that, we'll build a book library manager using object-oriented programming that will display all the books in the library so that the user can choose to buy a book from the list. Next, we'll build a weather application that will retrieve data from a server using HTTP calls and display the data in the UI. Finally, we'll use form validation with regular expressions to create a login page where the user will be able to log in with valid credentials to a website. You might pick up HTML and CSS while creating and modifying some of the resources we'll use in the course. Also, Bootstrap 4 and Materialized CSS will be used to style the components in the UI, as well as the REST API that we'll use to push data to the UI from the server. I hope that was enough to excite you for learning everything JavaScript related and advance your skills to the next level. If you'd like to stay updated, you can follow us on our socials at YouTube and Instagram, where we'll post promotional videos for any new courses you might be interested in. And all of our free preview lectures from Udemy will be available on our YouTube channel, so you can watch them before you decide to buy the course. So don't hesitate to hit the subscribe or follow button. With that being said, let's start with the course. I'll see you in the next lecture.